Too bad we're starting.
I just said sure.
Dude, my mic stand is so low all the time.
Yours is whack. Mine
Yeah,
is great.
it gets low, and I don't have enough of that. We're just gonna screw it. Sure, it'll work. I'll just keep tilting it up more and more. Do you want to... What is that? Do you want to do the...
I'll do the second one.
I'll
do the first.
For the Devo? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, go for it.
So I don't have a particular verse, but it does come out of Thessalonians 4. We're going over Ben Stewart's study right now, and just going over the book of Thessalonians. It's so good.
Nice. Anything Ben Stewart.
Right. So this week, there was two options. I ended up actually teaching the lesson because Sam was out of town, and so I say teaching. I pretty much was just told to follow the guy.
Yeah.
Which is great because Ben does all the talking and teaching, and we just answer the questions. And so this one was pretty much I had two options, two routes I could go. I could go over what he was talking about mainly, which was grief and how we can grieve and how it's okay to grieve and things of that nature. And but the other side of looking forward to what comes from grief, and how that changes with having a hope in Jesus and having a hope in Christ. And so there was that option. Then there was the option of going to like the second coming and like pre-post and stuff and all that. And I was like,
that was deep.
But like, it was like, if you want to go deeper, go to session 2. And I'm like, no.
Yeah, that could be a deep one.
No, it's not. But it was just, it was one of those things where like, kind of personally in my life, it's been my first time that I've had to deal with, the possibilities of grief, in multiple different ways. Thought I had a burp. There it was. Sorry, excuse me. Well, luckily, you have Brandon's mom who is cancer free now and is finishing up some radiation treatments. But that kind of thought pops into your head, about possibly having to, maybe go to a funeral for somebody. His Aunt Valerie still is fighting cancer, and then like I have my aunt who's fighting, a very aggressive brain cancer. And that's my aunt-in-law, but we're still partially family, and it's for me the first time in my life that I've actually been around like this much. One, just even the possibility. Like I know there's always been the possibility, like death is always there. Nobody's promised the next day. Like I could have lost my parents, all kinds of things. Yeah, there's always those options. But luckily, God has allowed me to have them for this long and hopefully for some time more, because of course there's still time I want to have with them and things like that. But like it was kind of one of those eye-opening sessions where like you always know that time is coming, and I'm not saying you should be prepared for your parents to die. Like no, like live with them, spend the time that you can with them, stuff like that. But like to know that when that time does come, like yes, I'm gonna know like, oh yeah, my mom and dad, they're in heaven. Like I know that that's the case, or anybody that I know, that clearly has a relationship with Christ. So like people that really are important to me in my life, I know, like I have no doubt in my mind that like when my grandma dies, because she'd probably be the next one that I know of, because she's 90 years old, she's getting up there. Her sister died at 99, so it's a possibility of 9 more years. Straight up, they live long lives in that family, and I'm kind of hoping that skips me. I don't want to be 90 years old. I just don't.
We'll get into that in a second because I do have a question. But keep going.
So like, kind of one of those things. Like, it was just really nice for Ben to go over those kinds of things, and like when he talks about it with Paul was encouraging to those who were mourning, and like you kind of think about it, and it's like, with Paul, like, why wouldn't he be that way? Like, but there are people that are like, oh, you don't need to cry. They're in a better place. Like, and like, I get that's coming from a special heart, and like, you're trying to encourage them to know, like, hey, look, like, your mom, whoever, whatever happened, they're in heaven. They're trying to give you that encouragement. That's perfectly fine. But it's like, also, like, Paul was just like, y'all people need to cry. Y'all people need to grieve. Like, go ahead. Like, let it out, mourn the loss of your loved ones. And one of the points he brought up were like cemeteries back in the day were in the center of town, right? Like you had churches also in the center, but then like cemeteries were also like in town, and like, when you think of a cemetery there's more like just a big old tomb and there's just bodies in there, because it's just different. But like for us, we put them like way out of town. We don't want them in the middle of downtown Longview. You know, like we don't have that. And so like they recognize the loss of a loved one, and we're like, push it down, get it out of there. Like, you don't want to deal with the loss and sorrow. You want to move on. And it's just like, you know, because, you know, and I'm not saying I'm, you know, preparing just for my aunt to die or anything like that, or my mom or dad. I'm not just like, come on, that's messed up. But like, you know, at the same time, when that time comes, it's like, it's reassuring to know, like, okay, one, like, luckily, like, again, this person has a relationship with Jesus. But two, it's okay to, you know, just take some time and mourn and be upset, be sad, you know. So it's like, I don't know. It's just kind of encouraging to think about those kinds of things.
Yeah, sadly, because you never had any major death in the family.
The closest I've had is my grandma.
Your dad's
my
mom.
dad's mom, and that was when I was young, and like, so, I was sad,
because I was young, so you were
8, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of like the 8. You're still kind of like,
I didn't really know her. I didn't know
don't
a lot
necessarily
of things.
know what's going on.
Yeah,
still like, you know. But
I didn't know that she like. I knew she was always like not well off, and that she was sick and had some other issues, but like not comprehending like, oh, she could die tomorrow, kind of deal.
Yeah, I don't think I had any. I don't think I've had it. I've had like some uncles and maybe some aunts, but not that like I hung out not that I like was always around. Like my Aunt Tuda, her husband died a couple years back, but like we might have seen them once every couple of years at best. Like it wasn't like we're always over there. It's not like if my Aunt Nikki or Uncle Shane who we go vacation every year with, like that's different. This was like my mom's aunt, basically. But yeah, so like the same, like obviously I hate to say it, but like Mimi's probably the closest one, depending on how all of her stuff goes. Yeah. Just with the cancers and stuff like that. But I do like, I think about it, because like you're talking about like having to, you always have to kind of like prepare, I guess. But I think about it, I'm like, dude, like my parents are still alive. So it's like, you know, obviously, yes, anything can happen. Yeah. But given a natural life, my parents are going to probably get to the point where their parents are at, you know? Yeah. And so I don't have to worry about that necessarily, probably until, again, unless something happens, like, God forbid, an accident or something like that. But like, I won't have to worry about that for like at least probably 30 to 40 years. Yeah. Which is nice, which is like a good, like, you can kind of push it out of your mind at least for a little bit.
And it's like one of those things where like I know my dad's dad died at like 54, 55, and he's 56 now. So it's like, there were some thoughts there, and he was always just like, well, that's when Dad died, so that's when I'm going to die. But his dad had major health issues.
Yeah, and your dad did a lot to correct some of that stuff.
Modern medicine has come a very long way since, you know, the 60s, you know, and I mean...
If your dad didn't do any of that, your dad probably would have.
Yeah, he would, I mean, because I remember he was diabetic, he was overweight, he had, you know, surgeries and stuff like that to help, and I mean, he still is technically a diabetic, he just doesn't have to...
You don't lose that.
Yeah, he still has to monitor.
You don't lose, or you don't cure it, like, oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like, I mean, he doesn't have to worry about it that much, you know, and like, again, if he goes to the doctor, they get charts, they keep records, so they can like pay attention, be like, hey, look, you know, if you were here, you're here, you know. So they got so many other things, and so like, and I mean, like, now he's got a granddaughter and now a grandson, so it's like, I mean, that encourages him to take the steps and the necessary precautions that he needs to. I mean, he should be a little bit, you know, safer with some of the things he does, but you know, like, clearly, like, he you know, like, once, you know, the baby started coming around and he was taking care of her more, like, you could tell, like, he changed, you know, like, not, like, perfectly just eating, like, only healthy foods and stuff like that, but, like, watching kind of more, like, because he used to be bad about drinking, like, 2 or 3 Monsters a day. Dude, he'd sometimes have 2 or 3 a day, and, like, there were the zero sugar ones, and, like, he, like, the doctor, like, was like, so what have you been doing? Because, like, your charts are really good, like, you've been doing anything specific? And he's like, no, I pretty much eat the same. I was like, well, what do you like, drink something different? He's like, I have about 3 Monsters a day. And he's like, well, I mean, it wasn't affecting him.
Yeah, it's like, why not?
So, You
Yeah,
know,
mom would hate that.
yeah, and so it's just like, whatever. But yeah, no, like you could tell, like he kind of was like, okay, I need to watch these things. I need to do this, and it's like, well, it's like, I mean, who wants to? I mean, I don't personally want to die at like 50s. I'll tell you that.
Dude, to be honest, we can get into it. I do.
I'm fine. You want to die at 50?
I don't. No, not necessarily. Dude, the more I think, because I've been thinking, I don't know why. Dude, again, because like I have those. We've talked about this before. Like I freaking stress out about retirement.
You stress out about a lot of things.
I do. But like, because again, and like that is one thing. This is kind of like a side tangent. One thing I will do by the end of the year, is get set up with my own personal Roth.
Yeah.
Whether it's obviously with work, I'll have something, but I might just tell him like, "Hey, I already have one. Put it in this." If they can do that, I know sometimes they can't. It just depends.
No.
If not, I'm just gonna have 2.
You're not gonna get your benefits.
Yeah. If not, I'm just gonna have 2 because I told my dad, I was like, dude, I'm like, I feel like I'm so far behind because one, I gotta call DBU to figure out what happened to that one.
Yeah.
Because I know I put money.
Transfer the money.
Yeah, I know I put money into something. I was doing like 3 or 5%. Now obviously it was the same deal. You had to wait a year. So like I think I did it for the last 2 years of me being full time.
Though, it's still a lot of money.
I was like, I know for a fact I was probably putting at least $50 a month in, and they were matching it. So I'm like, I know there's money somewhere, so I got to call them and figure that out. As soon as I do that, I'm gonna put, if I can, depending on what it is, I'm gonna put it into my own personal one.
Yeah.
There's a company that my mom talked about that Miss Kendra uses. That I'm probably going to look at just so I can go sit down with somebody and be like, hey, I want to start doing this as a personal account. I will have one for work, but like this will be my own one because that makes it easier too. That like if I do switch jobs, like eventually, like I won't have to do this over and over again, like constantly going back and forth.
And technically, whatever you get from the work one, you can just transfer over to your other one.
Yeah, and that'll be the easiest option.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I feel like I'm so far behind, and it's like that's the whole another issue. But I was like, so I think about like retirement and stuff like that all the time, and I'm like, and like God love my grandparents, I don't want to get to their age.
How old are they?
I don't. They're only like mid-late 70s. I think they're late 70s, creeping up on 80. I can't remember who's older, my grandma and grandpa, but. Now they both have health issues, obviously, but that's the name of the game. Whenever you hit freaking 70 plus, it's like, but I told, and the worst part about it is they don't tell people anything. Like mom told me yesterday that grandpa had fallen like twice this week, and grandma couldn't help him, so she had to call, for somebody to come. Like help get him up and all that because he's had hip replacements and all this and knee replacements and all this stuff.
See, I don't want to get to the point where I'm one. If you have to do a triple bypass on me, just don't.
Yeah,
just cut the cord.
That's why I don't want to get
old.
old.
I'm on my second or third knee replacements and they just ain't working out, just stop doing it.
And
amputate my legs, put me in a wheelchair.
Obviously, it's like the obvious answer is okay. We'll be healthy now, so you don't have all these issues. But like, even if I'm a healthy,
you could go health nut today.
Even if I'm a healthy 75-year-old,
yeah,
they're still slow. They're still groaning and struggling all throughout the day. I'm like, I personally like Jesus, come back, please. Like, I feel like if Jesus could come back when I'm in my 50s, late 50s, I'd be happy with that. I'd be perfectly fine with it because I've lived life. You know, like might have a grandkid or something by then. Maybe, I don't know.
You're almost 30.
I know that, but
that's 20 years.
Hey, we could pop the kids out real quick.
You're having a kid right after you get married. That's not before possible.
Yeah, fair enough. Maybe not grandkids. I don't know. But
that's pushing them.
I've lived life though. At that time, my kids are at least grown to take care of themselves. I'd be fine. I'd be fine if I went, or if Jesus came back. Because I'm like. The more I think about getting old, because you mentioned something like either last time we recorded or something, where you were like, "Oh, I can't wait till I get old," because and it's like the perks of like, oh, you can blame like you're old so you don't know what you're saying, or I'm like,
I don't. It's just senile.
But I'm like, I don't want to get to that point of like, because like, I just don't want to get to the point where I'm like every single day hurts, and it's like there's no
every single day hurts now.
but,
25.
But I'm telling you, it's nothing compared to what my grandparents go through. I guarantee you that, dude, I can't imagine what they're going through daily because of the pains and stuff they have in their body. I just don't want to deal with that.
I look at it like I want to either, if I can retire early, I mean, then yeah, like.
That's the other thing. I know I won't be able to retire early.
It depends on
To live the life I want to live, I will not be able to retire early. I promise you that. Because you think about, oh, what is for a family? Like take you and Emily right now. For y'all to retire and comfortably live, not worry about splurging, not worry about doing anything like that, you're probably talking around $100,000 easy.
Like what?
You're gonna have a house at that point. You're gonna want cars.
Oh my heart!
You're gonna have a boat.
Your house is gonna have to be paid off.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But if that's not gonna take a chunk out of your retirement, like,
I mean, like, and see, this is where me and Emily are different from other couples. Like, we want to build a house to begin with. Like, right? Like, we're in a house now, like little 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or 1.5 bath. I mean, we're renting it, but like it works great, phenomenal. But like we want to buy land and build, and we look at it like this. Like I could go out and we could go get a loan once she starts working. Save up about $8,000-$10,000 to help put down on a down payment, or maybe just save up for any remodel or stuff we want to do, or just have as spare cash in case of emergency. Like because everybody's like, oh, don't go out and buy no $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 house. And I'm like, I don't want to buy a house. I want to build a house that's going to cost me $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. But I want that to be my only house.
Yeah, that's cool.
I don't want to buy another house. I'm like, you need to buy one for $200,000, live in it for a couple years, save up some money, and then proceed to buy, another one for like say $250,000, $280,000.
Yeah, that's the whole starter house kind of mentality.
I get that. I if that's you and that's what you want to do, you go for it. Me and Emily look at it as like we would rather stay where we're at, save up whatever we can, like, because once she starts working, it's like we're like, once you start working, like, yeah, we're gonna go out, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna get some stuff, we're gonna splurge here and there, but we're gonna crack down on saving money. Like our goal is to save up enough money to buy some land in like within a year or two. Like
that's gonna be hard, dude.
Yeah, we can talk about that later.
That's gonna be hard.
That's not on the podcast talk. Or if we don't want to buy land, we want to pay off both our vehicles. I mean, that's only $40,000. She makes that a year.
That's much more manageable. I think it's harder for people to understand.
I'm not buying like $400,000 worth of land. Don't think that. I'm thinking like 150s, 200.
Still in a year,
at least to put down. I'm not talking about paying full. Yeah. I don't make that much money in 2 years.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Together.
I'm like, I don't think. I'm like, that's a lot.
No, I'm talking like get on. Put down at least a quarter of a payment on $100,000. Okay. $150,000. I really like to try to find 10 acres. There's 10 acres for sale now that I really want, but
I ain't got no money. Obviously, you make more than I do, and Emily will make money. But that's still a lot. Because I just look at it like that. Like, I live at home. I do not pay rent. Now, obviously, again, you make more than me. Emily is probably going to be close.
They start at 42.
Yeah, so that'll be more.
Public information, that's the only reason why I would ever say it.
I mean, I'm not going to say what I make, but that's more than me at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, but she's also got a little bit of college debt. Not much, but she's also a teacher.
The only bill, now obviously I have a car, but I'm not getting rid of a car payment anytime soon because I'm just going to trade it to something. Yeah. But like I have like $500 after bills are paid, and that's without rent.
Yeah.
That's without rent. Now, obviously, y'all are blessed to be in a very cheap rent option.
Yeah.
Which helps. But it's like, I can't save money for crap.
Yeah.
And like, cause like this, I think so so bills come out like, cause I have to go by like, I like kind of break it weekly.
Yeah.
For bills.
I look at my bills weekly now.
Which is nice.
I
will say.
Just do it based off like the month and kind of
I do it both.
But
so yeah. Because basically, I start saving for bills, or I start calculating bills 2 weeks before the beginning of the month.
Yeah.
Because I know at that point, then I'll hit that's the 4-week period of where bills are where I need to make enough money to give bills out, basically. Everything after that is I can save that much money every month. Well, it's I don't include gas or food in that. So I have I think I have $500-$600 to play with for food, gas, and then whatever else. So it's my goal is to crack down and save $400 a month.
Yeah.
With that, I think there's 2 more times that we get 5 paychecks instead of 4 before the end of the year. 2 or 3 more times by the end of the year. That's a full check that I'm just gonna try and, if I can, throw in the savings.
Yeah.
Which will give me my goal of what I want, which is $3,000 down, and maybe throwing a little bit of money.
Initial dad.
Yeah.
That thing sounds good.
Then maybe trying to throw a little bit extra money on top of the car to get it down quicker.
Yeah.
Which that's the goal. I should be able to have that. But I'm that's what is this month? 6. So that's that's 6 months, and I'll be lucky if I have $3,000 in the bank account. And now again, obviously it's y'all are working with a lot more money. There's 2 incomes, stuff like that. But it's God, dude, I ain't trying to jinx it, but you better hope you ain't have no kid anytime soon, because that's going to throw all the plans out the window. No. That's the point of I look at, and again, obviously I'm not going to be making what I make right now for the rest of my life. I don't plan on that, but it's I know that and that's why my goal is by the end of the year to have that account going.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with I'm going to start $200 a month into it. Every time I get a raise, it gets a raise. Every time I go up, it goes up. And I'm going to do that until basically I cap out on raises, whenever that might ever be, 10, 15 years down. I don't know.
I don't know. I hope I don't get capped out in 10 years.
But basically that'll be my mentality. It's I get a raise, my Roth or whatever I decide to set up gets a raise.
Yeah. And
so I'll put more and more. Because I saw a video that it was if you're 30, if you put $300 a month into a Roth, by the time you're 60, it's over $1 million.
No, yeah, that can be affected by markets.
Better if I would have started earlier, but again, it's that's why I'm in this kind of panic. It's dude, I started so late as far as I should have.
And I don't put $200 a month into mine.
I want to start there because I know by the time I'm 30, I need to be at about 300.
Once, like I said, once me and Emily get to a point, I've already told her, because I'm eventually I'm gonna straight up put $100 in there a week.
Yeah.
Work isn't gonna match $100, but I'm gonna put $100.
Yeah. The more you can put in, the better.
And I'm talking maybe when I'm 40, 50s. If I'm okay, if I were to put $100 back a week, I could retire in 6-7 years, and I'm 50. I would do it. I'd be we'll take the hit and just not save up as much money, or hopefully in my 50s I'll be in a decent position. And I'm kind of hoping, like I said, if with how we want to do things with building, there's one house I'm kind of willing to buy, and I honestly wouldn't mind, specifically because it would meet our needs for such a long time. And if we remodel it, it would only go up in value. And that's my grandma's house. She's got a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom house on a little over an acre.
Yeah, you could remodel
in a really good neighborhood.
Yeah,
and it's got really good bones. There's no foundation issues. She just updated all the electrical.
Got a lot of land around it.
Not a ton of land, but
good amount though.
I mean, for a family,
you
it would
can.
be perfect.
But I'm that's what I'm saying. You clear out her garden.
Oh yeah, that's gone.
Clear out.
Shop is going right there.
Clear out her garden. Clear out. Well, y'all might want to keep the little playground thing. I can't remember. Is it even still up?
Trashy as it is.
Yeah, then clear it out.
It'd have to redone.
Probably cut that tree out then.
No, I'd leave the tree. It's great shade.
Yeah, but it's in the. Yeah, but if you had that open, there's so much room.
But
much room for activities.
There's a big backyard. I mean, if
you could take out that rinky-dink shack,
literally could
opens that whole
gone.
area.
Oh,
then that opens up that whole area.
Yeah, so
that's a good amount.
It's literally we could put a pool out there. We could put, it could be a house for the next 20, 30 plus years, and then sell it once we, ready to build. And that would be a lot of money to put down on a house, and build a nice house and be done. I kind of, once we get more closer to the time, because my grandma's like thinking about selling our house, and then like she wants to like move in with the family members, but like nobody's really possibly able to do that. Just because like the only person that's retired is actually Jill, and she still works part time. And she only is retired because she did really well. She planned it out. She saved the money that she was supposed to save. So she sacrificed.
Been something like that.
Yeah, she sacrificed getting the nice house. She sacrificed having the nice new car, and all these things to retire in her late 50s. And that's what she did. Now she still has to go. Like she said, she's like, one, she's just like, I'm bored to death because I don't have anything to do.
Oh, yeah, so that is the saving grace.
Yeah.
Is I think I would go do part-time work. And obviously that's a little bit extra income.
Yeah. Like I'd be willing to do part-time, even if it was at the same place. And,
I would work at a golf course.
I would not.
I would work part-time at a golf course. That would be like the perfect retirement job for me.
But like, it's just one of those things like I said, it's probably the only house I'd be willing to because of the size of it. And, like, if Emily does want to have 4 kids, I mean, like...
Yeah, she wants to pop out them kids, bro.
If she wants to have 4 kids, like, that's the house to have 4 kids.
Do you want 4 kids?
I kind of want 2.
You're going to have 4. You're probably going to have 4.
I mean...
you think you're retired at 54 with 4 kids?
This is how I told Emily. I told her, I was like, if we're going to have 2, and if we can afford another one, we will have another one.
You're never going to be able to afford another one. You're going to have
kind of the goal.
You're going to have
Stopping at 2.
Nah, she's going to be like, oh, baby. Like, she's going to get you to have 4.
Nah. I don't care. That's honestly, like I told her, it's like, honestly, that depends on, like, financially where we're at and what we can do. Like, if we can support to have 4 kids and still be able to, and not have to, like, scrape by. Because, like, I just don't want to live the life that, I don't want my kids to live the life that I did. Not that my parents never, supported me or like really gave me anything, but we was scraping by most of the time, And like I get it, but like even still, my dad does it because it's just like ingrained in him. Like he has to always be working. Like he'll go mow grass, then he'll go to the church. He'll work at the church for 40 hours. Then after that, he'll go home and do something. Then he's working on somebody's lawnmower. And then on Saturday, instead of sleeping in and getting up, he's getting up and mowing grass somewhere else. And I'm just like...
yeah, I remember them days.
I'm like, dude, like, you gotta slow down. He's like, okay, I ain't got no money. And that's not the case. Like, they ain't balling, but they're okay.
Yeah.
But he's just like, it's a great mentality to have, and it gave me a really good work ethic. And I there's nobody else I know that works harder than my dad most days, like, in his work ethic. But it's just like, I don't want that. Like, me and Brandon talk about his dad, and, like, his dad's, like, whenever he kind of had to stop working to take care of Melanie, we could tell, like, he, like, struggled to not work.
Mm.
Like, and, like, he's a whole lot better now because he's been doing it long enough, but it's just, like, you can tell, like, he's just that type of guy. Like,
oh, yeah, well, whenever they gave us those letters...
Yeah.
She made the comment, and I was like, oh my god. She made the comment, she's like, yeah, she's like, because obviously talking about they're being appreciative of, like, how easy they were able to step away, basically. Mm-hmm. And she said, she's like, before this, she was like, the only time he ever took off was for the kid's birth. And I was like, what? No, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, he didn't ever take, like, dude, aside from maybe, like, a vacation here and there, she said, it was like... No.
Straight up.
That was all he ever did. I was like, nah. I'm like, I'm sorry. I appreciate it because dad's like that. Like, dad does not have to go on vacations. Yeah. Mom is what makes us go on vacations.
Yeah.
Like, if it was up to dad, we wouldn't do vacations. That's just how it is. But it's like, I respect that. Obviously, it's like they work hard, but I'm like, I do not want to live like that. I'm sorry.
And like,
I'm like, I just don't.
Honestly, if she hadn't gotten cancer, he probably would have kept working until he's in his 70s.
Yeah, and that's tough, dude.
Because, like, and it's not like, it's just like that's all he knows. And, like, because, like, we know, like, if he doesn't have a lot of things to do and is when he, like, full actually retires, because when he hasn't been there in months, like, he'll be there, he's always in and out, you know? And it's more like when he stops in, it's just to check on things. It's not to, like, there might be a few questions we ask him, but, like, And like, granted, it's his business still. So like, if he asks and wants to do anything, it's his choice. I mean, we don't care. We have no say. But it's just like, I don't want to be that way. I don't want to work so much and never take vacations and never.
No, yeah,
my goal is to spend time eventually. Like right now, like me and Emily have to work. Like eventually, I want to get up one day and both of us be retired. Both of us go sit out on the porch, groan while we're getting up. Who gives a crap? But I want to just sit. I just want to sit and do nothing. Know that I don't have to go to work. That I can go wherever I please, whenever I want, and be okay. Like that's that simple thing right there. That's all I want.
Yeah, I want that. I just don't want it at 70.
I'm hoping. I don't want to retire any really like. I'm hoping to at least shoot for 60. Like I don't want to retire later than that because I don't want to be 85 and
yeah, because it's like you have that, but you can't enjoy it. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
like you can't enjoy like because like that's like obviously 60. You're still depending on your health. 60, you're still good. You know, like mom and dad are getting into the late 50s now, so it's like they're getting close. Obviously, they're still good. And yeah, now dad has some more heart issues that he hasn't had, but
they're not severe heart issues.
No,
either.
they're not. They're
just
not
like
crazy.
Hey, you need to come to the doctor.
Yeah, they're not
17 months before.
They're not crazy, but it's like, and he'll have those days where it's like he'll go work outside and he feels it for 2-3 days later, and he didn't used to, you know. So it's like the aches and pains of age, but and he did retire early, obviously. But like when he gets to 60, he'll still be able to, go golf and enjoy it or go do this stuff and enjoy it. Like, that's fine. But once you hit like daggone 65, 70, like that's when
it's like,
stuff starts tanking and then you can't, it's like
Ari at work has about a little over 2 years, I think, till he can retire.
And you got, and
he's been doing that for
I was gonna say
50 years.
And you also got to understand it's like that man is one of the more healthy 65-year-olds.
Yeah.
He's like one of the healthy ones. And it's like, and you still see it's like he has the bad knee that he'll come in every now and then with.
Yeah.
And it almost shuts him down, basically.
And he has, from when I first started, he has slowed down a lot.
Yeah.
That dude used to like exclude washing
60 to 65.
Exclude washing and cleaning gaskets about 4.5 hours on a transmission. Both pieces together, done.
I was like, what are you talking? Yeah, gotcha.
We used to spend longer washing them, but like, if me and him get on one and like, it's like we're short wash, taking it down, build back, we could be done within 3 hours.
Yeah, he's still...
Dude is fast.
He's still fast with it. He's not as fast as that, but he's still fast.
He's slowed down a lot.
Yeah. He could, because obviously now that I've gotten used to the back boxes, I'll take his back box.
Yeah.
I'll beat him by 10 minutes to break down.
Yeah.
The back box versus the front box. I'll probably beat him by 10, sometimes 15 minutes, depending on if he's hassling with something.
It depends on how easy it is.
But like putting it together, he still dang near beats me. And like I don't think I'm that slow on building the front or the back box now. Like I know the hang of it. I've got it. I float. It's not like I'm having to think of what to do next. Like,
yeah.
And he still is. Again, depending on how much. Now, if he's because like a lot of he's able to do a lot of his prep before I can do mine, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
So like he will have the prep beat before I can start on mine, but it's like
yeah.
He's still dang near beats me
on the part that should take longer than it should on the other one. He's done really quick.
Yeah, but it's like that's the thing. It's like it's that 65 year. It's like that's when they start to slow down. But yeah, he's a healthy one, and it's like I don't think I'll be that healthy when I'm 65. I don't think I will. So I know I'm gonna be plummeted.
Yeah,
and it's horrible.
Like I said, we just have for me and Emily, we just have the thought of like we know that we don't want to be so old that we don't get to enjoy retirement.
I want to enjoy
and like
it with mentally and physically.
Yeah,
I want to be able to enjoy it.
And like that's why like whenever we talk to people or like people are always like trying to tell us like what we should do, they're like y'all should take advantage. And I'm like we are, and they're like yeah you could save up and pretty much almost put half down on a $200,000 house. And I'm like yeah we could if we saved up for like 8 years, and like. I don't know. I don't know how long we're going to live there. I mean, I don't really care how long we live there. I mean, I'm going to try to live there as long as I can personally.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'll take up on this rent and like just the people that we work, we live at, their house. They're wonderful people. I mean, shoot, they're hoping to leave Tuesday and not come back till November.
Damn.
Yeah. It's like, it's June. It's June and you're ready to go to Colorado and spend 6 months up there, 5 months up there.
That's that $1 million retirement.
They retired well with oil field money, but I mean, Randy works hard. I mean, that dude is out working something, doing something every day, and he's just like, I gotta do something. He's that kind of old man. Like his retirement is, I don't want to be in my house sitting down. Like he's like, I enjoy going and sitting down and not doing much, but I want to do something. I want to be on a tractor. I don't care what I'm doing.
I think my goal moving forward, especially when I start getting a family and stuff, my goal moving forward will be because I don't even want to do the let's our one vacation a year kind of thing. I think my goal, because again, if I'm enjoying my life right now in my means, and I'm still having money, but that gives me a lot more peace of mind about work until I'm 65, or if I have to, or work until later. Now again, honest to God, I hope at that point I'm probably teaching or something, doing college level teaching, because that's probably the only thing. That's probably the avenue that I think would take me away from Longview Gear and Axle. Because honestly, I have a few connections that I might be able to get into the part-time gig with. Yeah. And that obviously would just lead to, maybe trying to go full-time sometime down the road. But other than that, again, it's the media stuff. It's unless for somehow, and I got to start doing actual other media stuff, accounts and stuff for this to see, just start posting it to see what would happen. But it's this is mainly just for us. That's pretty much what it is. So I don't really have aspirations as far as big goals for the media stuff to go anywhere, unless I really just try and give it a shot and see what happens. And who knows, something could, but I personally don't find myself that entertaining enough to be I'm gonna break out and be mega famous, popular and all. No, I'm this is mainly for us, basically. Yeah. But yeah, so teaching is kind of the avenue that I would look to go in that. I could teach till I'm 65, 70 years old. I don't care. As long as my mind's sharp enough, I can do it, that won't be an issue because it's not taxing on your body at all. Maybe whatever stairs I have to climb, but yeah, but my goal, but I still want to be able to live and enjoy my life right now. And, vacationing one time a year, that's cool. I enjoy it, but it's I would love to do that more than just once a year. Obviously that probably won't be it right now, but when in a couple of years when I'm making more money and I have something, especially when I have a wife, I want to be able to go do stuff. I want to be able to go on trips.
And that's why I really hope eventually Emily's okay with buying a travel trailer, because I'm it's so much easier for us to just pack up and go away for a weekend or even a week.
Even weekend trips are
in a week we could drive up to Colorado.
Yeah. Be
there in a day and a half. Honestly, park it on some mountain somewhere and just spend the week enjoying it. Then come back.
Yeah. My goal would be to utilize all of my time off and then some. Yeah. Do weekend trips after my time off is spent, because obviously it's because what do we get 10 days? Yeah. So that's 2 weeks. So it's 1 week is obviously family's vacation. Yeah. I have a whole other week. I want to be able to at some point utilize that, go on a trip, go do something. Yeah. And then it's because the bachelor party that I'm about to go on, that's on the weekend. That's a nice weekend trip. I'm super excited for it. I'm going to see buddies that I haven't seen, but it's I don't have to spend time for that. It's on the weekend, So I want to be able to do that stuff, and I just want to, but it's going to start obviously when I make more money, but then also it's I want to have somebody to go do that with. Because doing it by yourself.
Personally, for me, if I didn't have Emily or I didn't have anybody, I probably wouldn't go on very many vacations at all.
Yeah, you don't.
I'd probably end up investing my money into something stupid.
Yeah, it's like I go on the family vacation, but it's like I'm not gonna go on vacation by myself. Like that's kind of weird.
Like because like this is the first vacation
I'm not
I've gone
extroverted enough to do that.
This is the first vacation I've gone on with my family in 3-4 years, maybe.
Yeah.
I know I took one like the second year I was working at Long Beach Gear. We went up to Missouri and spent some time there, and like even still, we didn't like we went to like Dollywood, all that stuff. You know, like stuff that like I wish I could have gone when I was a kid. I'd have had a whole lot more fun. And now I'm an adult, and I'm like, okay, I'll go ride a couple of rides, but this place is expensive.
Yeah, but you went with us 1 year.
Yeah, and I went with y'all like 3 years. I went with y'all a couple times, man.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah, because it was just like I had nothing to do, and y'all were like, we got extra.
Yeah, we got an extra space or whatever.
Yeah, because like somebody couldn't go, and y'all were like, come on.
Well, one time Haley wasn't there.
Yeah.
So you took Haley's spot. You came with us one time with Haley.
Yeah, and then I came one time with y'all when Mimi wasn't supposed to come, but then at the last minute she did.
Yeah,
come.
so it was like kind of cramped because I think we had to sleep on the pull-out couch together.
Yeah,
I remember that.
But and like even still, like I ended up slowly becoming like your dad on vacation. I'm like, I don't want to go out to the beach. The beach is gross.
I like the beach.
I didn't like it that 1 year. It was stupid gross because there was like sludge
the
and seaweed crap.
Yeah, I'm not the storms and all that. And now I will say, some of my favorite times on it. We can end this one pretty quick.
We can end it up here
because the storms. I love watching the storms.
Oh my gosh! Dude,
I'll just sit on the balcony. I'll just sit on the balcony and watch the storm all day long.
Yeah,
I don't have to go down there.
Emily will go sit on a beach and just sit.
That's what Mom does.
She's like, I'm perfectly fine and content to just sit here, shade or no shade. Go stand in the water to cool off, come back, sit back down for another hour. And I'm like 30 minutes out there, I'm like, I'm sweating. It's hot.
Yeah, now I will say
I don't want to be here.
I enjoyed like the few times we would go like waist deep and like throw the ball.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that because then you can kind of pop down in the water if you're hot, cool off. Yeah, I'm cool with that. But yeah, I don't like being out there for like all day.
And Emily, like I remember on our honeymoon, and like granted, we went to the beach. I didn't want to go to the beach for our honeymoon. I wanted to go to a cabin in the woods and just spend the week in the woods with nobody and some TV and I don't know, just nothing. Like I don't want to worry about anything. But like she's like, no, let's go to the beach. I'm like, fine. We'll go to the beach next trip that we go on. That's our trip. We're going to the mountains. We are not going to the beach.
I do want to go to Colorado sometime.
See, I want to go to Colorado. I want to go up to Montana. Like, there's nothing in Montana, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of big open, like, because I remember, like, Mikey and them and all of them went up there on, like, a mission trip. It was, like, for a cowboy church, of course. So, Janet Webb.
Wyoming.
Oh, Wyoming. Yeah, Wyoming. That's where I want to go. Because, like, there's, like, they were showing me some photos.
I mean, Montana's close.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing. But I'm like, man, this place is beautiful. Like, there's just, like, open area. Like, I mean, you can see for miles. And then there's all of a sudden this big old mountain. And I'm like, man, I could just sit out there. Like, I could just chill out there on a nice day, maybe watch a little TV, sit inside. Like, I don't care. I want to be lazy on vacation. This one that we're about to go on, I'm excited for. Mainly because, one, I believe it's East Coast, right? Sun rises in the east, right? Sets in the west. Okay, yeah. So it's East Coast. That's how I know.
Well, Carolina is East
Carolina,
Coast,
yeah, and that's how I think because I know the sun sets in California. Like it's just how my brain.
That's how you figure out the map.
That's how I remember. Okay. So like, I've never been to the East Coast. So, like, one, I know it's just an ocean and water, but, like, I want to go. Cool. I want to go to the beach down there. I want to go do something. And, like, so, one, we're also going fishing. So, of course, I'm all about the deep sea fishing because it's so much, like, I have to work for fishing for bass. I gotta make them think that they want that plastic worm. Out there in the ocean, you drop a piece of squid in there, and they're like, food.
Yeah.
It's great. So, like, I'm looking forward to that. We don't really have anything else other than that planned, honestly. I think that was our only two things we planned, but, like we're on an island, literally on part of an island. Mm-hmm. So it's like we'll find something to do. Like I'm okay with sitting by the beach. I'm okay with sitting by the pool. I'm okay with sitting in a big old fancy hotel. I don't care. So I'm looking forward to this one. But yeah, so we got that one coming up, and again, I know Emily wants to go down to the beach, but I'm also thinking I bet that water's gonna be cold.
Oh yeah,
dude, all the oceans are cold. I've found that out. It doesn't matter where you're at.
Yeah, I just want to be, and I know it'll happen because I still want to go overseas a lot. I want to go back to the England
Oh, you meant Latvia? I'm like, that trip.
No, I don't think I could go back to Latvia. I think that time has passed. That mission trip era has passed for me, which I'm fine with. I would love to see some of the people that we always saw and hung out with, but
Yeah.
that's here nor there. But no, like I will go to New Zealand. That's a stupid expensive trip, but I will do that at some point. But I want to go to the UK, like over in the UK area, because like this is the thing, like for us, and I do want to visit more states, but like something about over there, I love it. I don't understand why.
What I don't love about it is the fact that they don't have AC.
It depends where you're at.
Most of the UK doesn't have AC.
Yeah, it just
it's like
depends on where you're
90%. And I just think that's stupid.
Because when we went, now I do want to go back to Switzerland too.
I do want to go there. That's
when we went to Switzerland.
I know it's stupid expensive.
It is very expensive. It was
very expensive. Was it a burger or a steak adventure?
No, it was this 8-ounce steak for $50.
That's nice.
And me and Haley split it. We got 4 ounces.
We hungry.
It was horrible. Yeah, everyone that night spent like all their money and had to go get more the next day. It was terrible. Yeah. But it was really cool. Yeah, let's end the episode there. That actually went a lot longer than I thought. Which one went 45 minutes?